Welcome back, guys, to episode 2 of Why Blue Co Have to Go, and we're talking about transfers and what a mess that has been. Over the last 3 years, this first team squad has got weaker every year. Let's just look at the last window. We were screaming out for a striker, we were screaming out for a goalkeeper. We got none of that in the January transfer window. We let players leave on loan. And who comes in? Mathis Amougou. Mathis Amougou for 15 million. Another kid that's not going to improve the first team squad. Another kid that's just going to be farmed out back on loan to France, joining up at Strasbourg, who we're never going to see again, and they'll probably try and sell for some sort of profit in the near future. Well, let's move to the summer just gone, shall we? Let's discuss the transfers that came in then, shall we? Let's talk about Pedro Neto. No better than any other winger we've got at this club, that we've had at this club over the last couple of years. Just like the rest. Far too inconsistent. Barely contributes to anything in any game. The system doesn't suit him. Now, maybe if we had a better coach, we might see a better player for the 60 million we paid for him. Joao Felix for 52 million. He was bought to help finance the Gallagher deal. That was it. Shouldn't have gone anywhere near this player. He's been farmed back out on loan to AC Milan. He's been to so many clubs, and he says the same thing at every club. Oh, I'm so happy to be here. I want to make this my home now. This has been my dream to come to this club. Good luck with him, AC Milan. He'll be back to Chelsea in the summer, and they'll probably try and sell him. But for 52 million we paid for him, we're not getting our money back. What about waste of money in Dewsbury Hall? Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, 35 million. If you really think about it, it's pretty obvious why we bought him. Probably helping out Leicester with their PSR complications that they had. We paid 10 million for their dodgy manager, who hasn't been good enough. Same with Dewsbury Hall. 35 million completely wasted. Maresca don't rate him. He don't play him. He never wanted him. He ain't good enough when he has been played. Clearly not good enough at this level. Complete waste of money. Philip Jorgensen. 24.5 million. One of the most underwhelming signings of the summer, in my opinion. When Petrovic was let go on loan, we thought finally they'll be bringing in a statement signing. They'll be making a statement signing, bringing in a top quality class goalkeeper to help this club, to help us challenge what we need to compete in this league. Everyone knows you need a world-class goalkeeper. And who comes in? Philip Jorgensen, a kid from Villarreal. And they're saying he's going to challenge Robert Sanchez for the number 1 spot. Not replace him, but challenge him. How's that been going so far? Not very well. They've signed all these young goalkeepers. It's just all a gamble. Whether they'll come good. And the majority of them so far haven't. But we've got so many on our books now. It's a joke. Tossing for a free. Actually a decent centre-back, considering he was free. Can't complain when they're free, I suppose. No, we can, because he ain't good enough for this squad. Not the quality that we've had in the past. He hasn't replaced them. He hasn't replaced Thiago Silva, Rudiger, Christensen, Aspilicueta. No, just not at that level. Renato Vega, 14 million we spent. 14 million on a Swiss Army knife, we were told. Could play in multiple positions. Come 6 months later, wants to leave. Wants to play centre-back, we were told. Goes to Juventus and says, I'm willing to play anywhere. Make it make sense. Jadon Sancho, a loan with an obligation for 25 million. Ain't looking so great at the moment. Maybe it's the manager and the system he's playing in that ain't getting the best out of him. Like a lot of these players at the moment. Maresca is hindering them. But an obligation at 25 million ain't looking so great at the moment. Hasn't done enough. The one that should have rung alarm bells this summer. Amari Kellerman. Who, you might ask? Exactly. 22 million they spent on this geezer from Villa. 22 million when he ain't worth more than $1 million. Look it up. Hasn't featured for the first team. Barely features for the youth team. And when he has, he's been dreadful. The only reason I can see why we bought this guy is to help Villa. When they bought one of our players in Matson for pure profit, we buy one of theirs for pure profit. Stinks, absolutely stinks. And then the other kids we've spent massively on. They have just been farmed back out on loan, and we've seen nothing back from them so far. No return on the pitch at all. 20 million for Mike Penders, who's a Ansel Mina. Aaron Ansel Mina's in the squad now, but he was put back on loan for 16 million. 10 million on Wiley. Who the fuck is that? Never seen him. Probably never gonna. Then we have to talk about the transfers out in the summer that have cost us big time, in my opinion. All the pure profit ones really stunk. Gallagher, 42 million. Matson, 44 million. Lewis Hall for 33 million. All sold for pure profit. All good enough to be in this squad at the moment. And all could be making a difference right now. Lukaku went for 30 million, okay, that weren't their fault. But they got a decent price for him, considering. But none of that went on making or buying a replacement. Someone of that quality or better. No, just went on more kids. Cassidy, 13 million left in the window. Last one. Another kid that weren't good enough. Angelo. He was bought for 15 million and sold for 23. Never going to be good enough. Never going to play in the first team. Here's the blueprint for all these kids. They made an 8 million profit on him. Lovely jubbly in their pocket for doing absolutely nothing. Bought for 15, sold for 23. That is exactly what's going to happen to the majority of these kids. They ain't going to see first team football. They'll be bought, they'll be loaned, they'll be sold. They are bought to be, we buy to sell. That's all we do. It's like Diego Moreira. Remember him? No, you don't, because he never played for us. Bought for a free for Benfica. Sold to Strasbourg for 2 million. And that's dodgy. Selling to a player to another club that you own. How's that not being pulled up? I mean, the year before, the incomings were a bit more promising. We got Moises Caicedo for 116 million. At the time, people were laughing, but now no one's laughing anymore because he has paid that back. He has been brilliant. One of our better signings. One of the best signings they've made. The only problem is he ain't got the quality around him, and eventually he might want to leave. And someone might come in and offer a little bit more, and they'll make a profit, and they'll probably sell him. Nkunku for 60 million. Was unlucky with the injuries at the beginning. Looked really good. Then he gets injured. Played out of position when he does come back. Hasn't really worked under many managers. Thanks to Cole Palmer's form as well. Hasn't really helped him. And Cole Palmer's been fantastic. But with a better coach, we might see a better player. I do believe that. There is a world where we can fit Cole Palmer and Nkunku into the side and it works. We've got to talk about Romeo Lavia, the player that could have been, should have been playing alongside Caicedo. When he does, looks fantastic. He's a perfect partner for him. Caicedo and Enzo hasn't worked. That experiment has not worked. But when Lavia's in there, he's been brilliant. For 52 million, he's looked a steal. But unfortunately, he ain't been fit. If he could stay fit, it'd be fantastic. But he can't. That's been proven now. Disasi for 45 million. 45 million on Axel Disasi. Along with Badiashile, both Lawrence Stewart signers. He came from Monaco. They both came from Monaco. It was obvious who brought them in. And it's just obvious that the sporting directors are a massive issue. And they can't spot talent. They got lucky with Cole Palmer for 47 million. Lucky. By far the best signing these clowns have made. They didn't want him. The only reason we got Cole Palmer is because they got rejected by everyone else from around Europe. And fumbled and stumbled upon Cole Palmer and bought him. And if it weren't for him, we'd be in the Championship right now. But sooner rather than later probably, there'll be a serious club coming along. It's imminent. It is incoming. Cole Palmer will be leaving this club if they don't change. If things aren't changed very soon, the direction of this club isn't changed very soon. Because why would he want to stay? We're not going to be challenging for anything anytime soon. That's what we've been told. 5 to 10 years. Why is he waiting for that? Who's going to be wanting to stay? Who's going to want to play for a club that aren't going to be challenging for major honours. Real elite players like Cole Palmer won't want to be sticking around. He'll want a serious club, and a serious club will come in. They'll bid for him, and if these clowns make a profit, they'll sell. Nicholas Jackson, 37 million. With the price paid and the fact he'd only had a handful of games at Villarreal, the majority of fans thought, yeah, he's going to be a backup to the main man, isn't he? He's the backup. But nah, that weren't the case. He was shoved straight in the first team. And he struggled the first season. He's improved in the second. But he ain't the answer. He is not the answer, is he? We know that now. If we want to challenge for major honours in this league, we need a lot better. Uga Chukwu, 27 million. And a handful of games. Not ready to be in the first team. That was clear. Sent out on loan. Could be one for the future, but it's still too early to know. And here we go. Robert Sanchez. 23 million for Brighton's third choice goalkeeper. And he's made our first choice. That is laughable. We are Chelsea. They are Brighton. Petrovic for 16 million. When he replaced Sanchez in goal last season, everyone was happy. It was great. We thought, what a buy for 16 million. What a steal. And then they go and loan him out. The most optimistic fans thought, okay, that we're bringing in a top quality goalkeeper because we're letting him go. Now they bring in Jorgensen and keep Sanchez. Make it make sense. Neither of them are better than him. And surprise, surprise, he's having a great season. And then they'll probably sell him in the summer for profit because a serious club will come in and pay money for him above what we paid for him. And they'll make a profit and they'll sell him. And another big joke, David Washington. Who, you might be asking, you probably don't remember him. Why would you remember him? But we paid 16 million for this kid. We were told he's the future, he's going to be great and he's going to feature in the first team straight away. He made a couple of appearances and he was useless. Did absolutely nothing. And now, they've only gone and loaned him back to the team they paid 16 million for. Jesus Christ. And in the outgoings that year, Kai Havertz I didn't mind, but why to Arsenal? 75 million, okay. But he was still in his prime. We usually sell players to Arsenal when they're past their best, when they've had their best. You know, William, Petr Cech, David Luiz, William Gallagher, those sort of players. When they've done their business for Chelsea and then it's time to say goodbye. They've had their best days at Chelsea, but I don't think Kai Havertz had. I think he was right in the middle of them, to be honest with you. He's had some good performances for Arsenal, we can't deny that. He's helped them out a couple of times, we can't deny that. And he could be helping us out right now. He could be making a difference in this squad right now, no one can deny that. As much as you don't like him. One that really could have made a difference right now is Mateo Kovacic. Why did we let him go? 29 million. Never replaced. We miss someone of his ability in the midfield. We really do. Koulibaly left, 23 million. Lasted one. That was a joke. He lasted one season. For what we paid for him was a joke. An absolute waste of money. And a crime that he was ever given the shirt number he was given. The shirt number of a captain. The shirt number of a leader. The shirt number of a legend. What a joke. Pulisic left for 20 million. And have we got any winger that's come in that's better than him? Answer that question. Have we? No, we haven't. No, we haven't. 20 million we sold him for. Yeah, well, he had a few injuries, but no one's come in that's any better. Mendy as well. 18 million left. He's better than any of the keepers we've got currently. We've downgraded since he left. We were supposed to get better, not worse. Then we have the pure profit ones as well that really stung. The Mason Mount to Man United that made no sense for 64 million. Loftus-Cheek 18 million. Ampadu 8 million. Hudson-Odoi 3 million. All these players could be making a difference right now in this first team squad. Argue with me if you want. Tell me I'm wrong. But I'm not. They all could be. And then we had the first year in charge. That was a complete mess, wasn't it? Those transfers. It was laughable. I mean, we'd lost Rudiger, we'd lost Christensen for free. For free. And it's Fofana coming in for 80 million, who's injured on his way through the door. And he spent more time on the treatment table than on the pitch. Waste of money. Overpaid. You can see that when he's playing. Not good enough for the money we spent. Not a bad centre-back, but he needs a leader beside him. And we saw Koulibaly came in that window as well. And we've already spoke about what a waste of money he was. 41 million they paid for his services for a year. Absolute joke. Badiashile, I spoke about him, 38 million. Lawrence Stewart signing he got completely wrong, not good enough. Enzo Fernandez came in for 120 million because he had a good World Cup. Not because he was what we needed, or what we required, or what could help the club. He hasn't fitted in. He hasn't found a space. Yeah, he's had a couple of good games. Yeah, there's a good player in there, but no coach has got the best out of him and found a position for him that's actually worked in the squad. Marc Cucurella, 65 million. I actually like Marc Cucurella. I do. Gives 100% every game. They wanted to sell him. And if it weren't for him having a good Euros, he wouldn't be at this club anymore because of these clowns. Raheem Sterling, big joke of a signing, 56 million. Another player we should have stayed a mile away from. Not worth what we paid for him. And he's showing right now he is never going to be the player he once was. Look at what he's doing on loan at Arsenal. And we're still paying his wages. And he's still going to be coming back to us. Arsenal aren't going to want to keep him after this loan, are they? Transfer's been embarrassing. Madueke, 35 million. He's a decent winger, but not at the level required at Chelsea Football Club. No way near. He's far too inconsistent. Gusto for 30 million looked a good player. Last season under Poch, he looked all right. Looked like we've got someone who could actually challenge Reece James. That's what people were saying. Great replacement. Then under Maresca, he's falling off a cliff. So it's obviously the coach. It's got to be. Because we know there's a good player in there. There is a good player in Gusto. Something's going on there with the coach. It's not working for him. Trying to get him to invert. It just doesn't work. Chukwuemeka, 18 million. Looked like he could be a really good player, but then he got injured. Hampered by injuries like a lot of these other players. And it's cost him, really. It really has his chance at Chelsea, in my opinion. And it's nice to see he's gone on loan now. He's got that chance to go to a club that know how to develop young talent. In Dortmund, they know what they're doing out there. They create some really good players. And let's see what he does out there. Andre Santos we bought for 12.5 million. Haven't seen him play for Chelsea. I think he played in a pre-season game or two. Then he was loaned to Forest. Never played for him, so we didn't know if he's Premier League ready. Then he got loaned to Strasbourg. And he's had a good couple of seasons out there now. Still don't know much about him. We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see, or whether they're just going to sell him for pure profit. Aubameyang, do you remember that sign? We signed Aubameyang for 12 million. And he weren't the player he once was. He weren't Aubameyang from Arsenal. Obama blood clot Yang, was he? No, he was absolutely dreadful. Just a laughable signing. And then Slonina for 9 million. Who you might be asking? Yeah, another goalkeeper to add to the growing list of goalkeepers we've got. Another one that was bought for no reason, other than to try and loan out and try and make a profit on it sometime later. Nowhere near good enough. I mean, look at his loan at Barnsley. He struggled there. So he's clearly not good enough. I mean, there were some of the players that they sold that year as well that not really missed. I mean, Jorginho, 11 million, but why to Arsenal? Again, why are we strengthening a rival? Doesn't make sense. Emerson for 15 million. Wouldn't be a bad backup, actually, now to Cucurella. He's doing all right at West Ham. Werner, 20 million, never good enough. Not their fault. Can't hold that one against them. Batshuayi for 3.5 million. I wouldn't mind him in this squad right now. I'd take Batshuayi up top right now, considering what else we've got. And the one that did sting a little bit was Billy Gilmore, 8 million. More the first one, for pure profit, and someone that could be making a difference right now in this squad. We could do with a Billy Gilmore. We really could. We could do with a lot of the Cobham boys that they let go out of this club right now. We really could. But they don't want Cobham boys at this club. All Cobham is for now is for generating pure profit. So expect more of the Cobham boys to be leaving. Like the Trevor Chalobahs that they wanted to sell. Like the Levi Colwills or Reece Jameses. Those are the ones that are going to be out the door next. For pure profit. Lovely jubbly. Because of these clowns. They don't know what they're doing. They've completely ruined this club. You cannot deny that we have got weaker and weaker every transfer window. And it's going to continue. Why would it change? Telling us they're going to strengthen in the summer. It's a joke. It's a joke. Get out of my club. We want you out. All Chelsea fans want you gone. Smash the like button, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Blueco out.